Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. So today is going to be an Ask Me Anything. I have taken questions on my community tab for the past couple of weeks, and I will be answering those questions today. So let's start off with the first question. How big is Batista's... yeah, we're not answering that one, guys. People who've been in the IWC for a while will know what I'm talking about. So the real first question is, what is your favorite genre to watch, and tell us why? Well, my favorite genre to watch is surprisingly biopics. I have a nice biopic section on 4K over here. I've got some more biopics over in a corner. I like stories that are based on real life, even though, look, there are artistic liberties taken with some biopics. Not all of them are 100% real to life, like Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, I think Freddie's diagnosis came after Live Aid, so, you know, they play a bit with the timelines, but I still like it based on real characters, real life people, and stuff like that. So I do prefer biopics. There's a few more in this question. Do you collect because you like collecting, or rather just watching? I like most science fiction, action, and adventure with a decent plot and visuals. Okay, so I do like to collect. As you can tell, I like to collect. But I do watch a lot of this. The idea behind my collection, and I know a lot of people don't understand this, I know a lot of people are like, oh, but you're just buying it and you're wasting all this money and all this stuff. One day I'm going to go without the internet, and it may not be anytime soon, but I do have a long-term idea of removing myself completely from the internet, like being away from it. I will still be there at some capacity, but like not streaming anything. I might keep YouTube around, but that's about it. So that's my idea. Like, I want to eventually be able to say, you know what, I don't need any streaming service. I don't need anything else. I've got my collection. I can just go live in like rural Hobart or rural Sydney or somewhere. I can go live in some rural part of Australia, New South Wales, wherever, and just be away from everything. That's the idea long term. And, you know, when that does happen, I mean, there are options like Starlink, but the idea is that I can be away from the internet and still enjoy my movies. And I know a lot of people don't understand this, but for what I believe, this is setting up for my future. And my future is, when I do eventually retire, to go towards that. So I do like collecting, but I also pick stuff to watch from here. Like last night I watched Dragon Ball Super Broly, like one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. Great movie, but, you know, I will come into the collection when I want to watch something. There are instances where the thing I want to watch isn't in my collection already, in which case I will perhaps look at a streaming option, but it's rare. So thanks for one, GabDab. Those few questions were from GabDab. This one is from Pretentious Sunshine. Okay. Some of these names, you got a good profile pic there, by the way. I can see you looking at some physical media collecting. Good profile pic there. Are there any other YouTubers that make content about movies and physical media that you recommend enjoy watching? Well, I have mentioned before, Last Gamer, I did like Joel's content when he was still making it. Obviously, I mentioned a few times Films at Home, another great one. Serial at Midnight is another good one. I think he put up a video the other day about the problem with cinemas, about, you know, Deadpool's going to do really well, but the reliance on franchise films are meaning that a lot of Hollywood are not going to produce original content because the audience goers are saying that you want to see more franchise movies. So he does have a few good points. But, you know, those are the three that come to mind when I think, okay, who can I recommend? And, you know, you have your Cinemassacre and all that stuff, like, you know, he's a game collector. Like, there's a lot of different people you can watch on YouTube. The thing is, you can just search on YouTube, type in physical media, and you'll get a million different search results. You'll get so many different people who match your niche. And you might be a horror niche. There are people who only solely collect horror. You might get a action niche, and you'll get people who solely collect action. There are different niches for each of your tastes. I collect everything. But those are some of the ones I recommend. Thanks for the question. This question. And it's from I'm going to massacre your name, sorry. Nasir Masti? I know you've been around since the beginning of the channel, so I really should learn how to pronounce your name. I know you've been here since like the first 500. I've seen you in the comments since that time, so long time follower. Are you concerned your channels have stagnated since the rebrand? Not at all. Now, I know a lot of people didn't understand the rebrand at the time. I understand it was a controversial move. I understand I was taking it from Jamie Toomey Live to the physical way. I get it wasn't popular. I get it was a bit of a shock. I understand the rebrand probably didn't need to happen. But for me, long term, it's easier to market a brand called the physical way rather than market me. Because, you know, in short term, yes, a personal account does do very well. And that's great. But the physical way is something that can be anything. It can be, I can go cover sports events. I can go cover physical media. I can go cover wrestling. You know, there's so many different things I can do. I can talk about the concerts I go to. That's something I haven't really mentioned on YouTube yet. But people who follow me on my Instagram, and this is why I keep telling you to follow the Instagram, will know that I do a lot of concerts, and it's in my stories tab. I have stories at the top of my Instagram, and you can see all the concerts I go to. So I haven't even started scratching the surface of what the physical way can be, but I wanted it to be a brand. That's why I moved to the physical way. And there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should bring it back to the personalized attach, but it just wasn't something that I seen a long-term future in marketing of myself. Like, I am someone who's like a brand, and then, you know, you could have like Ian Hickok's personal Ian is bored. You could have that, but when you have Smosh, you know, it's a brand you can push, you can bring other people in. It's bigger than just you. And that's what I see the physical way being eventually. Maybe I can bring in more people. Maybe it can be a community of collectors, you know. That's why I rebranded, and that's why I feel long term it was the right move. I did it early because for me, doing it early is better than doing it when I have like 1,000, 100,000, you know, whatever subscribers. It's better to do it early and catch that. But thanks for the question. I know you're a long time follower. I know you've been very vocal about this because I've seen all your comments on everything. There was a reason for it. I'm not at all concerned about it. I think it was the right move. This one is from Louis Q 8285. I'm probably butchering that name. Sorry. I will get some of these right. What kind of setup do you watch DVDs, Blu-rays? Okay, I have an LG C9 65-inch TV, and it is awesome. To me, this is where... Okay, so I had a plasma for years and years, a Samsung plasma for years and years. And when I was upgrading to 4K, I was like, my nose is itchy today. Probably because I'm still getting over the flu. But I'm 100% now. But yeah, I had a plasma for years and years. And the next logical step was to go to OLED. And there are so many OLED options out there. Like there are, I think Samsung had QLED. But the thing, I was really close to going with QLED. The only thing that stopped me from choosing Samsung was the lack of Dolby Vision. And to me, it just wasn't worth it. So that's what I use for TV. For player, I have the UB820, the Panasonic UB820. Great player. You can watch international stuff from there. So basically what you want to do is if you have a region locked disc, you get to like the start part of it, you press stop, and then you press top menu twice. And that's how you get around it. They've built it into the player itself. That's why I have the UB820. But I don't think it does it with DVDs. It only does it with Blu-rays, which is great because I have primarily Blu-rays. I have a lot of DVDs, but I have primarily Blu-ray. So the two I primarily use. I have a PlayStation 5 that I play games on. Have an LG video player if I want to go back and watch video. I have I think it's a Panasonic CRT that I'm probably going to offload soon because I've barely used it. Look, it's great to have a CRT in 2024, but it takes up a lot of space and I barely use it. The only time I really use it is when I watch wrestling, my old school wrestling tapes. So I have a lot of different setups, but the main setup is my LG C9 65-inch and my UB820, my Panasonic UB820. Can't recommend that player enough. Fantastic player. This one is from Sulphur Born. do you like old movies or new ones more? Old movies. Now, there are occasionally movies in there that I like I mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody at the start of this video. I liked that movie. I liked stuff like Rocket Man. I liked Oppenheimer, I liked, there's a lot of different stuff in here that is newer. But when I see something like, and look, I buy stuff sometimes without having seen it. But sometimes the idea that it's a movie that I haven't seen, like, this is one I'm definitely going to watch at some point. And this is something that I was like, if I'm going to watch it, I'm going to watch it in the best quality possible. I've never seen Young Guns. And some people might say, but you've never seen Young Guns? My God, it's Kiefer Sutherland and Emilio Estevez. But what happened to Emilio Estevez? He was big for a while and then he kind of fell off the map. Maybe because, Charlie Sheen went mad. But yeah, Young Guns is something I've never seen. I intend on watching. But, the fact that this has a 4K release, I was all over this the moment it came out. I was like, I need to have this. And people might not understand why I have to have it immediately, but it's like, to me, having that in my collection is important. And because I see myself as a archivist, I like to archive things. I like to have them in order. I like to know, okay, if the internet ever goes down, if the entire world is taken offline, I can come in here and grab something off my shelf and still access it. That's important to me. And not everyone will understand that. Everyone will say, but the internet's never going to go down. Well, look what happened with CrowdStrike a couple of weeks ago. CrowdStrike went down and took the world offline for a day. I'm just saying it can happen. Imagine, and that was based on a glitch. Imagine if there was a proper coordinated thing that took the world offline. How impossible that would be if, we're talking about the modern age, that's what can happen. But I do prefer old movies more. It's something I tend to have a lot more of in my collection. Even if I haven't seen them, there is a lot more old stuff than new stuff. It's probably 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1. But thanks for the question. I did mention your name, yes. Next question is Jeremy Carr 3448. Being from the US, curious, what Australian films or series do you think needs a better worldwide release distribution? Along with your recommendations of Australian cinema, you think people should see outside? You think people outside should see? So asking me about Australian movies, I don't know. I mean, I could talk all day about Australian movies, but I'll go for a select few. Obviously, with Russell Crowe being as big as he is, Romper Stomper is one to really check out. It's a gritty, darker movie about, I don't think I can say the name on YouTube, but it's a very gritty movie. One of Russell Crowe's early roles, one of the first roles I actually seen Russell Crowe in, because I remember back on TV in the day, this was aired somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, but I was like a kid at the time, and that was my first time I ever seen Russell Crowe in a movie. And I didn't watch all of it, obviously I was a kid and didn't understand exactly what I was seeing. But one of my first interactions seeing Russell Crowe on screen. And obviously, that was prior to Gladiator. Obviously, after Gladiator, he became a worldwide star. And he might have been a worldwide star before that. Correction. Last Cab to Darwin. Go and see Last Cab to Darwin, because I actually worked on this movie. But we've heard enough about Last Cab to Darwin. Great movie, Michael Caine. I worked on it. Go support my movie. I get nothing from that movie, by the way. I don't earn any money from that. I basically got living incidentals back for working on it, but it was basically work experience. I spent my money on it. They paid me back for what I spent. And the experience was a payoff. The Castle is a great one for outside of Australia. Michael Caine, great actor. This is like, if you ever need to understand Australian culture, put on this or Muriel's Wedding. These are the two that I would say define Australian culture. Like, these two kind of like, the terminology, like, literally, The Castle especially. Like, this movie is on Channel 9 and Channel 7 and whatever, almost all year round. It's always in syndication because people will stop and watch this. People will stop and watch Muriel's Wedding as well. Personal favourite, Chandler Jimmy Blacksmith. Gritty movie about an Indigenous man in Australia who was wronged by the system and went on a killing spree, based on a true story as well. So, kind of as a biopic, really good. Chopper, Eric Bana, great depiction based on a real life character, Mark Chopper Reed. Mark Brandon Chopper Reed, who has passed away a couple of years ago, but this was based on him. Really great portrayal. Iconic movie from Eric Bana. We can also talk about, I mean, everyone's seen Crocodile Dundee. I don't really need to mention Crocodile Dundee. It's amazing that I had to import Crocodile Dundee, though. I mean, Australia needs to step our game up, because if I had to import Crocodile Dundee, there's a big problem with Australian media. Put it out on Blu-ray in Australia. Damn it. The Dish, great movie. Sam Neill. It's about the Dish that did the broadcast for the spacewalk, the moonwalk, the 60s. So the Dish was actually located in parks in New South Wales. The Dish is still out there as well. It's still in use. I mean, you know, I could go through this all day. I mean, my gosh, like, I haven't even mentioned Priscilla Queen of the Desert, like, iconic as. Hugo Weaving, you know, Terence Stamp, Guy Pearce, like, there are a lot of... This is an iconic movie as well. But, you know, I can just go through these all day and talk about the iconic movies. I could go through, I mean, The Sapphires, I mean, Rubber-Proof Fence, Moulin Rouge, geez, like, you know, Gallipoli, I mean, we're talking about Mel Gibson here, like, great movie. This is one that comes out every Anzac Day. This is a very popular movie on Anzac Day. But, you know, that's the Australian thing. And Jeremy, thanks for the question, because you got me going on Australian content. I will always talk about Australian content. But thanks for the question. Let's go to the next one. Very first DVD VHS you bought. I think it was Titanic on VHS. I mean, I probably had movies prior to that. In fact, that wasn't even me really buying it. That was my parents buying that one. The earliest one I still have, though, I'll go off the earliest one I still have, and this is from, what's your name? Yes, Sydney Bristow 89. Thanks for the question. The earliest one I still have in my collection is somewhere here. There it is, The Dead Zone. Dragon Ball Z, The Dead Zone. This has been in my collection for a very long time, this one. I've had this one for probably over 20 years at this point. And yeah, it's pretty cool to still have this in my collection. This was one of the few that actually survived me tearing down all my original DVD collection. This one survived. I left this on the thing because I was sentimental about this. This was one of my earliest ones I remember going to Myer in town and buying. That's when it was still... it wasn't called Myer back then. It was called Grace Brothers. It was still Grace Brothers in town. Who remembers Grace Brothers? Jeez, I'm throwing back old reference here. I'm showing my age. But yeah, that was one of my earliest, and yeah, there are others in my collection, like I've mentioned heaps of times, WrestleMania 20 on VHS that I recorded off Main Event. There are stuff that predates that, but that's the earliest I can remember going in and actually spending money, buying with my own money, and being like, yes, I want this, please give me this. I actually bought a Majin Buu figure with that as well, that I broke within like a couple of weeks, but, you know, here's what it is. Another one from Jeremy Carr. Okay, let's have a look. What film that has multiple cuts would you like to recut using parts from all current versions? You know which one I'm going to choose. Most people who know me know which one I'm going to choose. Titanic. I want a 4-hour version of this. Like, there is a 4-hour version of this that actually exists with all the scenes that James Cameron shot for Titanic that were cut from there. I don't know if I'll put the chase in the diner back in there, you know, with the bad guy. He's fighting Jack Dawson, David Warner, Lovejoy. I don't know if I'll put that back in there, but there are certain things where I'd be like, I wouldn't change the ending. The original ending was good for that one, the one that they ended up going with for theatrical. Also, the best thing about the 3D version, I would take the 3D version and open up the aspect ratio, because that worked. So I'd do it open matte, which I used for years before the 4K, but the 4K is so much better than the 3D open matte version that I just ended up going with 4K at the end of the day. But that's something that I have thought about for ages. I've thought about ripping all current versions of Titanic and creating the ultimate official 4K edition, but I wouldn't do that because that's James Cameron's IP. I wouldn't do that. But if I could do it, that's the one I would do it with. Thanks for the question, Jeremy. Another one from Nasser Mastia. I'm sorry if I keep butchering your name. I will get it right eventually. I know you've been here for a long time. I think, yeah, you're one of the two who actually remember have been here since like 500 subscribers or around that time. I mean, the other one is this Gracie. I think there's a Gracie who follows me on TikTok and has been watching my content since the start as well. So, you know, you, Gracie, and a few others have really been here since the start of the channel, and I appreciate all of you. But let's see what this one says. What are your thoughts on the Space Diver 1984 Dune cut compared to the fancy new ones? I've never seen Dune. And I know that's going to come as a shock because I've got all the new versions of Dune here. I've bought them all. I've got all Dune here. I've got Dune down here. Like, I've got that many versions of Dune. I've got the TV cut. But surprisingly, I've never seen it. And why is that? It's just something that I've never got around to. Like, given the scale of my collection, like, there's a lot of stuff in here that are, like, classic movies that I've never seen. Like, here's another one I've never seen, and it will surprise a lot of people. I've never seen Carrie. John Travolta. Never seen it. It's in my collection. But the idea behind my collection is that I can access it at any given time. I can watch it, and I know a lot of people don't understand why I spend so much money to have the privilege to have that on my shelf. But, you know, it's my money. I can spend it on whatever I want. And that's what I choose to spend it on. But yes. Is this mic still on? I'm just going to check if the mic's still on, because the most annoying thing is when this mic cuts out and I've got to actually cut it all together. Ooh, that was not good. Give us 2 seconds, guys. We're just going to put that back where it was. We're going to fix this up, and there we go. Bob's your uncle. Okay. So yeah, thanks for the question. Never seen Dune. Another one from Jeremy Carr. If you could obtain the rights to release a TV series or movie on 4K, what would it be, and what special things would you like to include? 24. I got something imported the other week from Japan that is very rare. It's up here. Let me just get it down for a second. Give me 2 seconds. Let's move Purunga out of the way. I'll get it down and we'll have a little look at it. Stay up there, Goku. Don't fall on me. This is a 24 box set from Japan on Blu-ray. It was released in one part of the world. And I watched season 1. It is superior to the Blu-rays in every way. This is going to be my way to watch 24 from now on. And you might say, oh, but, you know, it's HD on digital. Well, yeah, this one is my preferred way to watch it now because you get better bit rates on this. It's Japan Blu-ray. The discs are really good. It keeps a lot of the original artwork. But yes, 24 on Blu-ray. That is something that I am like... It was shot on film back in the day. A lot of it was shot on film, so there is detail there to be pulled out on a 4K restoration, but yeah, this is gold to me right now. This is something that, yeah, I would take in a heartbeat and work on the restoration of that, because that is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Also, you know, you could take Breaking Bad, I guess, but yeah, 24 is one of my go-tos. In terms of, I mean, Dragon Ball Z as well. I mean, there's been so much bad restorations of Dragon Ball Z that, yeah, I would like to see what I could do with Dragon Ball Z, but I'm hoping Toei actually get their stuff together and do a proper, like, Dragon box of the current, like, go back and rescan it in 4K and do a proper restoration, not the things we're getting with Funimation. And another one from Jeremy, what is the worst release everyone should stay away from? I've said it a million times, Terminator, but I keep hearing about Jaws 3 now. Jaws 3 is apparently horrendous on 4K from what I've heard. I mean, Lord of the Rings has had a bad restoration in terms of DNR, so the 4K of Lord of the Rings could be kind of, I don't know. You'd have to make your own mind up whether these changes are good for you. I mean, True Lies, I like the True Lies on 4K. That has a lot of DNR, and you can actually tell there's been DNR. That can put a lot of people off. So you have to decide which one is best for you, but for me, Terminator 2 is the worst one I've seen. But then again, it's not even really that bad. It's just a really bad color grade. Cameron goes and changes a lot of things, but it's not even really outrightly bad. Like, it's just personal preference at the end of the day. But Terminator 2 for me is the worst. Another one from Jeremy. Jeremy, you've been on fire in this comments section. I kept telling people to ask questions and no one was asking questions, so I said, guys, if you want to ask more than one question, go ahead, because I need to fill a video. But Jeremy, you're on fire today. Who is the strongest human ever, and why is it Krillin? Well, where is my Krillin? Oh, he's up there behind the camera. I'd have to actually walk all the way around the room to get him. Give me 2 seconds. I'm still here, guys. Just getting Krillin down. Krillin's up here somewhere. Poor old Krillin. Well, here's Krillin. We're going to put him somewhere here. We'll put Krillin up here for the rest of the video. Let's put Krillin there. Look how cool he is, too. It's a metallic one. I got this from, like, Hobby Co. in town at City. Yeah, really cool Krillin. And we'll put him up there for the rest of the video. You can just go there. I mean, technically speaking, is Krillin the strongest one? I mean, Tenshinen is pretty good. Probably butchering his name, but Tien. What was the English dub for Tien? He was pretty strong. He was human. Yamcha was kind of strong. Roshi is pretty strong as well, but I don't know if he's stronger than Krillin. 17 and 18 were humanoid, so they were originally human. Jiro took them in and basically put robotic parts in them and transformed them into androids, but, you know, you could say that they were human and are as strong as humans, but based on the parts, yeah, Krillin is the strongest. Good question. You'll keep me going on Dragon Ball all day. Jeremy, geez, you're asking a lot of questions. Considering the wildlife, do you have to be on guard when walking around regularly? I ask this because I have an acquaintance in Australia who said in her area a koala attacked someone and she is now worried about letting her little ones out to play. You gotta watch the drop bears. Very simple. Like, I mean, everyone will say, oh, drop bears don't exist. Don't they? Besides, you don't really need to worry about koalas. I mean, there's not koalas up every tree. You've got to be a bit more cautious of, like, the possums and the magpies and stuff like that. The possums will go you in Australia. Like, I've seen possums go after people. Like, they will go you. When I say go you, it means, like, they will come after you. They will run at you and try to, like, fight you. They don't care. Kangaroos as well. Everyone thinks they're cute and cuddly. If you pick the wrong kangaroo on the wrong day, the kangaroo will go you and try to fight you. Like, I stay away from the kangaroos as well. Basically, look, there's a simple rule. If you're not messing with it, it won't mess with you. Very simple rules. If you don't go poking a snake, the snake's not going to come and bite you. As long as you're keeping your distance and you're respecting its distance and you're not going after it, you're pretty much safe. Just don't do stupid stuff. But yeah, watch the drop bears. Drop bears, koalas. People say they don't exist, but you can believe what you want to believe. Next question from Arnold Tot Fan. Does the relentless color grading mania which began 20 years ago, a consequence of the digital revolution, bother you at all? I am hypersensitive due to autism. Hey, thanks for the question, man. Like, I know how hard it is for, like, yeah, to have autism. Like, I've got family members who have it. Like, thanks for taking time to ask this question. Like, very awesome to have you in my community. Like, I love people who love movies and can articulate stuff like that. And it has caused me such discomfort that I don't watch anything new. I'm only 32, but I haven't been to the cinema in 17 years. It just turns my stomach. I say health comes first. If the cinemas are doing stuff that don't work for your own health, don't go to them. Like, that's the thing. There was a long time where I didn't go to the cinema because, like, I went and seen some things here and there, but, I mean, 3D became this big thing, and even Cameron's still trying to push 3D with the new Avatar movies. 3D hurt my head. Like, sitting there for a long period of time with glasses on and just, it hurts your eyes after a while. But, you know, you got to do what's right for you. But yes, color grading mania has been insane. Like, Terminator 2, the transfer to 4K is what I mentioned. Like, the color grading in that is horrendous, whatever Cameron did to that. He got rid of the orange Californian sunsets and made it all blue and all this thing. And it works for Terminator, the overall theme, I guess. But, like, yeah. But love having you in my community, man. Like, stay strong. Love having you in my community. Thanks, Arnold, for the question. But yes, color grading mania has went insane. Is this the last question? This one is from, I believe, when I had the TikTok post up. Where do you buy your imports from and how to get them cheap? I get them from everywhere. I get them from eBay. I get them from Amazon sometimes. I get them from JB Hi-Fi mostly. But there's also a shop in town in Sydney that I go to. It's in Haymarket. It's called Top 10 Screen and Media. Top 10, it's not Screen and Media, Top 10 Film and Movie. Something like that. Film and, it's top 10. Just look for top 10 Haymarket and you'll find it on a Google search. But it's in this little part of Haymarket in the back lane, next to a pawn shop's right next to it. Or not a pawn shop, but a pawn shop like where you go in and pawn your items, you know. And yeah, I know people don't understand that term outside of Australia, but hey, I'm going to use it. I'm Australian. I'll use it that term as I please. But that's one of my favorite shops to go to. That is somewhere where I get them to import stuff for me. And yes, it costs a bit more for them to do it. They have to make a bit of money as well. I understand that, but they are able to get things for me that I would say, hey, I don't know how to get this. If you can find it, I will make it worth your while. And they end up finding it. And I'm like, how did you find it? That is so difficult to get, but they have their suppliers, they have their ways, and I'm just like, yep, I will pay for that because you are really good at what you do. And yeah, can't recommend those guys enough at top 10. I have said I will give them a shout out in a video, and yeah, I'm shouting them out in the Ask Me Anything, so there you go. Haymarket, top 10. Film and movie, or it's top, I don't know exactly what the longer name is, I just call it top 10 when I go. But yeah, top 10 is a great shop in Sydney. And I think that was the last question. Yeah. That's all the Ask Me Anything. I'm going to see if they're... No, it's not even switched on the iPad. I haven't got the internet on the iPad. Anyways, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I know it's a longer one. It is 31 minutes at the moment, and I've just been talking for 31 minutes. But thank you for watching. It is a longer video. I said I would do the Ask Me Anything, and I have done it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Catch me in the next one. If you haven't already, follow the Instagram. That's where I'm going to be putting a lot of exclusive content. TikTok is going to be slowly wound down because for some reason TikTok won't let me add social media links and like link everything up. So they've just got me having this weird like TikTok creator thing or whatever, but I can't actually put my socials in there anymore. Like it's a weird thing, but my other profile on there can do it. It's weird. It's just they don't want to help me. I've asked them, they don't want to do it. So in that case, I've told them up front, I said, look, well, if you can't fix it, I ain't going to produce content for TikTok. And they're like, oh, okay, we wish you would. You can maybe follow our developer tab. And I was like, yeah, cool, I'll just go to Instagram. Peace. But yeah, Instagram, follow the Instagram. It's the physical ways. So it's the physical way, but with an S on the end. The physical ways. And the only reason I used that was because the physical way was already taken for some reason. And he's not even, whoever has the physical way isn't even using it. It's just kind of a placeholder. I don't know why they actually wanted that one, but they obviously got there. I'm going to have to rebrand this whole thing again, ain't I? But anyways, the physical way is on Instagram, the physical way on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page now as well, so you can follow that as well. Links will be in the description. You can go down and find them. I'm not going to put them embed them in the video anymore because honestly, embedding them in the video is kind of cringe, isn't it? But anyways, do as you please. Subscribe, like, comment. I don't know. Let's make another video. I might do a couple because I'm more ready to make more videos. I mean, I could talk about that 24 box set a bit more, but yeah, we'll do a few videos in August. We're gonna go hard in August. We're gonna go back to the old template of like not every day, but maybe every second day making a video. We're gonna go hard. And we're going to try to make this thing as best it can, but we're not going to do cringe-worthy stuff like I was doing before where it's just every day is a rant. We're going to do some things about talk about stuff. That's where we're going. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate all you here. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.